say, well, what is your expertise? What is your credential? That's a question dumb people ask. Smart people don't ask that. Smart people don't need to know your credentials. They just talk to you for 5 minutes and they figure out if you know what you're talking about or not. And a really good person, a so-called natural philosopher, can be good in any branch of anything. Nature has no boundaries. Nature has no concept of mathematics versus physics versus chemistry. It is all one thing. And to anyone who's either meditated or done psychedelics or read enough books, they've figured that out. It's all one thing. When you find one thing, it connects to the next thing, connects to the next thing, connects to the next thing. And true creativity jumps boundaries. It can go from anywhere to anywhere. It doesn't have to follow a path of interconnections in between.
Can you expand a bit on that? Because that's also a way for many us in the audience, scientists and entrepreneurs, we're kind of following our curiosity, trying to find a path. What's our next thing?
David Deutsch has a great criterion, which he calls the fun criterion. He says, just do whatever's fun, and you'll kind of find your way to it. And there's a lot to that, because that's what you'll be most interested in, that's what you'll stick with, that's what you'll go deepest in. If you're interested in it now, then you'll be interesting about it later. And so I think Deutsch has really a good criteria. I would expand on that for myself. What do I have the most fun doing? Because fun is a little too broad, right? You could have fun partying and drinking, and that's fine too. Live your life. But I would say that for me, the fun criterion is the learning criterion. I live for that aha moment when two things that I didn't realize were connected connect together, and you get that feeling of oneness, and you get closer to source, if you will. And so if anything that connects two things in my mind that were disconnected forms a tighter, deeper explanation and shows me a deeper theory is fun. And that's what motivates me. So I would say it's for fun, it's for learning, it's for connecting things together.
Okay. And how do you decide, right? Because there are fun things that aren't necessarily leading you anywhere. But sometimes they lead you somewhere and you don't know it when you're in that moment.
Just follow the thing that's most fun. Everything deep is interesting. Deep down, everything connects to everything. And you can see this in everything from like Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance to how you have physicists going into fields and that are completely orthogonal to physics, and they'll make huge breakthroughs in those fields. So I think you do want to follow your own learning and fun. And all the innovation comes from tinkerers at the edge. And you only recognize later looking back that you can connect the dots. But the thing that I think is important is to be rigorous. Is to actually stay as truth-oriented as possible. So you want to be optimistic in the general. You want to be optimistic that, yes, I can find something interesting here, but you want to be skeptical about the specific. You don't want to just believe every claim that comes along. And I find that a lot of times when people are entering new fields, they just believe everything. For example, 10 people will approach you. They'll tell you 10 different therapies. They'll only tell you the upsides. Well, it's like if you believe all of them, you're going to die, because you're going to take all 10 of those shots and one of them will kill you, or at least hurt you. So you do have to be skeptical about the specifics, but you can be optimistic in the general. What's really bad is to be pessimistic in the general, because then you're just going to lose no matter what, and then be optimistic in the specific, because then you're trying lots of things and you have risk of ruin on the downside.